Sinking driveway, settling patio, collapsing stoop, uneven pool deck. It's a fact. Concrete problems don't get better with time, but they do get better when you call APS.
This is the afternoon edition of the Daily Weather Briefing video. This is for Thursday, the 22nd of December. I'm James Spann. We are that close to that long-awaited Arctic front blowing in here this evening. And that's going to spread some pretty nasty cold in here on through the Christmas weekend. We've talked about this for 10, 12 days now. This will be easily the coldest Christmas weekend since 1989 and the coldest air we've experienced in a number of years. So again, we'll try and answer all your questions as we go. This is the upper air look and that huge trough evolving over the middle of the country. That is the delivery mechanism for this air that originated over the pole in Siberia. And you'll know where it came from when it reaches the state later tonight. Now, interesting to note, we've got some clearing on the western side of the state near the Mississippi state line, kind of a narrow band there from around the Shoals down toward Reform and Tuscaloosa, down toward Butler and Choctaw County. For some of you, it's a sunny afternoon with temperatures approaching 60, but for the rest of the state, it's cloudy and fairly chilly. So that's the regional radar, and of course Alabama with a little drizzle, but not much today, and you can see the Arctic front rolling through Arkansas. In advance of the front, little narrow band of light rain showers. Behind the front, little band of light snow, and that'll be rolling through here tonight. These observations were taken at 2:15. Notice Demopolis is at 58. I'm sure they're in the 60s by now. I'm doing this live update about 3:15. It's 50 in Birmingham, but 46 in Coleman, 48 degrees for Gadsden. And around the region, if you look in the upper corner of that image, you can see that Arctic air that's blowing into Arkansas. And that will be barreling through here tonight. That barbed wire fence up on the state line, it's not going to stop that air mass. So in Alabama, you see the counties in brown in southwest Alabama. That's a wind advisory. But understand for the rest of the state, there is a wind chill warning. So, instead of just blanketing the state with all these different warnings, the Weather Service is just going to leave that wind chill warning up for tonight and tomorrow, which means there's going to be a lot of wind. The areas in purple on that map, the northern quarter of Mississippi up into parts of Tennessee, that is a winter weather advisory for the chance of a little snow. But the big snow problems are in the areas of pink and red on this map if you're traveling. The red, that's nasty stuff. That's a blizzard warning. Parts of the Dakotas, Minnesota, Iowa. Blizzard warnings in effect for cities like Minneapolis, St. Paul, Des Moines, Sioux City, Bismarck. A blizzard warning for parts of Michigan for the lake effect snow, and the same thing around Buffalo, New York for lake effect snow. Winter storm warnings, the counties in pink. That would include Kansas City, St. Louis, Chicago. It's snowing in Chicago now. Indianapolis, Cleveland. And again, that's where we've got big problems with travel in terms of snow, those pink and red areas on that map. And, of course, everybody's going to be cold. Maybe some strong storms late tonight in advance of the Arctic front along the coast of the Carolinas, really the Outer Banks, and through parts of the Florida Peninsula. But after that, we'll not deal with severe weather for a while. In fact, by the time we get to Saturday, not a single thunderstorm across the entire country. So precipitation for the next 7 days, just not much at all tonight. And that's a really good thing. If we had soaking rains today, we'd be in big problems, big trouble, because we'd have a flash freeze tonight and everything would turn to ice like that. But we've had nothing but drizzle today. And again, we might see a few little patches of light rain in advance of the front, but not much at all, which is a good thing. In that the road should dry very quickly. Once the front passes, we'll see strong northwest winds. And we just don't expect any big issues with travel by car. But understand, if by chance there's a little bit of standing water somewhere for some reason, it'll turn to ice. So there could be a few icy spots tonight or tomorrow. Just be aware of that. Don't drive like a fool when you're out tonight, but most roads will be dry. Maybe a few little patches of ice. So this is coming off the high-resolution HRR model, HRRR, High-Resolution Rapid Refresh. And this is valid tonight at 8 o'clock, and it's got the front into northwest Alabama. 8 o'clock tonight, and notice in advance of the front, a little light rain. Behind the front, a little light snow. And this stuff is going to be racing through here. So let's go to 11 o'clock, and you can see it's almost out of here. And again, if you're looking for a few snowflakes, you might find them in Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Anniston, Gadsden, but you have to look really hard. The better chance of getting any snow on grassy areas will be high terrain in northeast Alabama, especially up on Lookout and Sand Mountain, Brindley Mountain, places like that. Meaningful accumulation, no. There are no winter weather advisories. And again, meaningful accumulation not expected. The big story, it's not the snow, it's the cold. So this is tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, and the HER has been really aggressive. I think maybe a little too aggressive. It's got Birmingham at 5 degrees. These are not wind chill indices. These are actual air temperatures. Tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, it's got 5 at Birmingham, Tuscaloosa 7, Anniston 7. Below 0 near the Tennessee state line. Again, maybe a little aggressive, but again, I don't know if you can tell the difference between that or 10. The deal, it's the wind. These are wind chill indices at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. And again, the HER is really aggressive here. It's got the wind chill index at Birmingham at 13 below, 20 below, up near the Tennessee River in North Alabama. So I would say this is probably a worst-case scenario. We're thinking most of the wind chill indices tomorrow morning will be somewhere between 5 below and 15 below. That's bad enough, with lows between 5 and 12, something like that. So that's the deal. But at least the sky is going to be sunny tomorrow. Let's look at the synoptic maps. This is the GFS, the 12Z run, valid tomorrow at 4. There's your big trough over the east. And cold and dry, windy, sunny. High tomorrow, 20 to 25 for North Alabama. And the wind chill index will hover around 0 much of the day. And look at the isobars packed up there around the Great Lakes. That is just a big nasty. The winds are going to be screaming, maybe gusting to hurricane force around the Great Lakes. I mean, that is just brutal. But again, for Alabama, sunny, windy, and very cold. This is Saturday. The winds died down a bit. The low probably close to 10. We're going to see some single-digit lows north of Birmingham. A sunny day. The high will be in the mid to upper 20s. Christmas Day. We start the day, I'd say, between 10 and 15 for most spots. The high around freezing. And understand, many places in North Alabama will be below freezing for over 72 consecutive hours from tonight until Monday afternoon of next week. It's a long-duration event. Now, this is Monday. The GFS tries to bring a little shortwave and squeeze out a couple of snow flurries. We'll discount that. We think the air is too dry for that. Monday, the high should be close to 40. This is Tuesday. We should see low 50s. By Wednesday, we'll be around 60, and this is a week from today. Thursday, the 29th, got a ridge on the Atlantic coast. And again, we're going to see 60s out there toward the end of next week as the pattern flips. Let's go out 10 days. This is Sunday, the 1st of January, 2023. Happy New Year. How this trough evolves west of the state, we have seen different solutions, but the idea is that the weather could be fairly wet on New Year's Day or at some point during that New Year's weekend. Maybe stormy. We don't know if we have any strong storms or not. This is 10 days out. And of course, we all know this will change, but certainly no chance of any snow or ice. We'll be in the 60s over the New Year's weekend, maybe even flirting with 70 in spots. This is rain for Birmingham coming off the European ensemble. The mean is over 3 inches between now and the 7th of January. And let's warm it up. What do you say? This is the NBM, National Blend of Models, output statistics for Birmingham. High tomorrow at 22, but by Saturday, New Year's Eve, the high 67. Sounds a little better. So a big warm-up after brutal, brutal cold coming in here. And hot off the presses, this is the latest 8 to 14-day guidance. This is for December 30th through January 5th. And for the eastern half of the country, a lot of red on that map, meaning temperatures above average as the pattern flips. So once again, if you are just joining us here, the concern, it's the cold. And we've talked about this over and over, but not everybody watches every video here, so just a couple of quick reminders. First off, we had a tragic fire in Bibb County last night. An entire family displaced, including, I think, 6 children. A trailer burned, and it was a space heater, according to the local fire officials. You got to be really careful with the space heaters. Be very careful. We don't want any more of these tragic fires. They basically lost all their possessions. So be very careful with that type thing. And obviously, the main concern, of course, it's people. folks that don't have adequate heating, the elderly, just check on them. If you've got somebody in your circle of friends or connections that might be struggling with this, that might not even know it's happening. And obviously bring in the critters or get them a warm place to stay where they can be protected from this cold. And be sure the pipes, exposed pipes, are wrapped. And you don't want a pipe to burst. That will ruin your Christmas. I promise you that. And in your car, if you're traveling, just keep that tank full in case you get into one of these, big messes like we have on interstates around here where you're sitting out there for 5 or 6 hours. You don't want to run out of gas. That's a big problem if we're at, temperatures are 5 and the wind chill index is 15 below zero. And, of course, have blankets and stuff in there just in case the worst kind of thing happens. So one more time, we'll take a look at high-resolution modeling for those that are joining us live. This is valid this evening at 8 o'clock. The Arctic front will be into northwest Alabama. And what's going to happen when the Arctic front comes through, you'll go from 45 to 15 like that in a couple of hours. Harsh northwest winds, maybe gusting to 40 miles an hour. And, again, a few light snow flurries or snowflakes flittering around, but that should not produce any meaningful accumulation. And the one good thing about that wind is the fact that it should dry the roads really quickly. And this is tonight at 11 o'clock, and you can see what snowflakes we have would be up in that northeastern corner of the state, and everything moving out quickly in terms of precipitation. So, again, most of the roads will be dry, but if there is any standing water, it will turn to ice. We don't think there's going to be a lot of that, but just watch for icy spots. Be careful if you're driving tonight and tomorrow, and we'll get to next week, and we promise we'll get things much, much warmer. So that's it for the afternoon daily weather briefing. For those that are new here, we do these twice a day. In the morning about 5:30, about 2:30 or 3 in the afternoon. Weekends as necessary. We simulcast these on YouTube and Facebook. And we have notes on the blog. That's kind of our hub for all the products and services we provide, alabamawx.com. And, of course, if you can, we invite you to join us right across the hall here, good old Studio A, for ABC 3340 News. Our first newscast begins here in about 30 minutes. At 4 o'clock, we'll have newscast at 4, 5, 6, and 10. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening. Stay warm, and God bless.
Sinking driveway? Call Alabama Professional Services. Settling patio? Call APS. Uneven pool deck? Call APS. Collapsing stoop? Call APS. Cracking sidewalk? That's right, call APS. It's a fact. Concrete problems don't get better with time, but they do get better when you call APS. Call Alabama Professional Services today.